Good morning. It's time for Two Guys on Sports. I'm Larry Hazer.
I'm Dick Olson. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, Dick. And, let's review a little bit of what happened last weekend as the state tournaments kind of got underway in full swing. We had the boys and girls state hockey championships where Tomahawk won their first ever hockey championship, beating Amory Co-op in Division II.
Both those schools, you didn't know about hockey being
No.
there. Yeah, but they both made it to the state final, and Tomahawk came out 5-3 on the
5-3.
win. So.
And then in the Division I championship, Edgewood won their first ever hockey championship, knocking off defending champion Notre Dame.
Yeah, and those were the 3 and 4 seeds too. They were they beat the 1 and 2 seeds. Wausau Westby, I believe, lost to Notre Dame, and Edgewood beat one of the Brookfield schools. So, but nice, 5-2 championship, and for Edgewood, and away they go. So.
Yeah. And then in the girls state hockey championship, De Pere Co-op beat the defending champion Central Wisconsin Storm 8-0.
Yeah, kind of a lot bigger margin than I thought there would be. Wow.
Well, De Pere, that was actually their second championship in the last 3 years.
Right.
Central Wisconsin Storm kind of knocked them off last year, preventing them from a 3 in a row.
But, boy, I'll tell you what, you talk about the two stellar programs right there.
Yeah.
Wow, they both got plenty of hardware in their trophy. I don't know whose trophy cases they keep it in, but
because De Pere
there's
Co-op's
about 7 schools in the De Pere.
Yeah, I'm glad they just call it De Pere Co-op.
And quite honestly, I think Central Wisconsin Storm stretches down to Marshfield.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And probably all the Wausau schools. And it's called the DC Everest Co-op. So
Right, yep.
So.
All right, so that's what happened in the boys and girls state hockey championships. And then their state team wrestling tournament at the Fieldhouse in Madison. And you called it in Division I.
Yeah, Kaukauna just has no peers in this this year. I mean, they defeated Arrowhead, 54-13 in the finals, and that was after actually their toughest test was, I believe, in the semis with Holman, 40-22. But Arrowhead had beaten Bayport in the semis 35-34, but 54-13 in the finals. Just an overwhelming Kaukauna team this year.
Now, that's their 5th straight championship.
Yep.
Have they lost in those 5 years? I know they were unbeaten.
Probably
this year.
not. You know, it's hard to tell. You know, they don't keep. I haven't seen where they've lost a duel, and I can't imagine where they've lost one either.
Right.
So
Yeah, as tough as they are.
I've seen them play second at a tournament. You know,
Okay.
2022, December 2022, they were at the Eau Claire North tournament. They were edged out there by the Simley out of Minneapolis.
Oh, okay.
You know, so it takes
an out-of-state
a
team.
team like that to beat them. So.
All right, then in Division II, we had St. Croix Falls winning the championship.
Yeah, and Falls was the number 2 seed behind Coleman. Falls beat Kewaskum in the semis 43-32, and Coleman beat Fenimore 34-30. But Falls just a great program up there, and they defeated Coleman 38-29. That's pretty interesting. In 2020, Falls was a D3 school in wrestling, Larry, and then because of population, they got bumped up to D2, I believe, in 21 or 22. Next year, they will probably more than likely be D1 because of the competitive balance. So,
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's pretty interesting there. But
because Coleman and Fenimore already moved up.
yeah, they came from 3 to 2.
Right,
And Luxembourg Casco is already in D1 and they were a stellar D2 program too. So anyway, then in D3, you had Mineral Point over Weyauwega Fremont, and they were Point was the 2nd seed, Fremont the 1 seed. Weyauwega Fremont in the semis beat Ootsburg 45-33, and then Mineral Point handling Stratford 39-23. But Mineral Point winning, and I don't know how many state titles this is for Mineral Point, but they've got plenty of their hardware too. But they defeated Weyauwega Fremont 32-28 in the finals.
This is quite a year for Mineral Point because their girls and boys basketball teams
are still alive, and the girls are probably going to be one of the favorites in D4, and I think their boys are the defending champion in D4. So they've got another place where the water's pretty good down there. So.
Yes, indeed. All right, so that was the state team wrestling tournament that happened down at the Fieldhouse in Madison. And then the Big Ten wrestling championships, they happened down at Northwestern University. And there was the big upset at 197.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you what. Watching that match, it just didn't seem like Steven was himself that day. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not going to say hold in against Jacob Cardenas of Michigan because all this year, all the time, I've been watching Steve. He's the only guy I've seen take him down.
Okay.
And he took him down in the second period and held on for a 4-2 win. Of course, Stephen 21-1 second. Now he has an automatic berth to the NCAA tournaments, which is next weekend out in Philadelphia. So, but tough loss there. You know, Cardenas wrestled a great match, and Stephen just could not. Stephen is a third period wrestler, and he just could not get anything going against Cardenas. So, but just want to touch a little bit, Larry, on the Big 12 tournament. Gavin Drexler, who originates from Stratford, wrestling for North Dakota State, he finished third at the Big 12 conference. And Sam Mitchell from Marshfield, wrestling for Wyoming, wrestling 285, finished fourth at the Big 12 tournament. So both those guys have automatic qualifications to the NCAA tournament next weekend also. So
okay. Now the NCAA tournament, what do you think as far as Stephen Buchanan? Is he still going to be? He's going to be in the top. He won't be the top.
He's going to be the top four, one of the top four.
Okay.
The top four guys, I believe, are AJ Ferrari, and I believe it's California Bakersfield. Stephen Cardenas from Michigan, and Jacob Barr from Penn State. So,
but he won't be the number one seed. I believe
AJ Ferrari will be the number one seed. So,
okay. All right. Again, the NCAA Wrestling Championships in Philadelphia, March 20th through the 22nd.
And if you're like me and follow track wrestling, the matches, the seedings come out tomorrow.
So all right, there you go. Look for that on Track Wrestling. All right, plenty of high school boys and girls basketball here in the next few days. We'll start with let's go with the boys basketball as they will have their sectional semifinals. There were a few games last night, but most of them are going to be tonight. And I just kind of went through just to see how the top 10 teams in the final poll, WISsports.net coaches poll, how many of those teams are left. We'll start in Division 1. 9 of the top 10 teams are left in Division 1 in the field yet.
You know, I guess, we talk, sometimes those rankings are a little bogus, but right now they look pretty darn good, don't they?
In Division 1, they look pretty good. 9 of the top 10 teams are left, including the number 1 team, Kettle Moraine, who's going to take on the number 8 team, Sun Prairie East, in a matchup. And there's a matchup tonight in Neillsville where a pretty good Eau Claire Memorial team's coming in to take on Marshfield.
Yeah, and Marshfield beat them earlier in the season, too. So, but first, has there ever been a D1 sectional played in Neillsville?
I can't remember.
This should be nuts up at the field house tonight.
In fact, they said there are 800 tickets for each school that they're allotted. And they're asking the people from Marshfield to go online to the Marshfield High School Go fan page to get those tickets early, so you're guaranteed a seat.
Right. Yeah.
But that's still noon today.
And I we've held the D2 wrestling sectional up here, which is a huge crowd. But I don't think there's going to be anything bigger than what's going to be up there tonight.
I ran into Coach John Geyer.
Yes.
And he's, of course, the administrator in Neillsville after that concert the other night in Neillsville. And he said that they might have to go to the fairgrounds to get some more bleachers.
Yeah, that. And, I think another thing is parking.
Right.
Though I think you'll see like Eau Claire come over on buses. Maybe,
I would assume,
things like that. But, parking and things like that.
It's going to look like one of those youth basketball tournaments where they got people parking all over the place.
Absolutely. I said they'll be on the streets and all over. But it's great, for the concession stand. That'll be big for the booster club. And, and just those people in town, they tend to spend a little money too. So, it's great. When you first let me know about this, I was shocked. But,
well, it kind of was like an NFL free agency thing there, because it started off with this game being held at Stevens Point, and Columbus Catholic and Cochrane Fountain City were going to be in Neillsville, but everything got switched around. They went to Osseo Fairchild. The game that was going to be in Osseo went to La Crosse.
And
this one come over.
And quite honestly, Osseo is probably a more neutral site for Columbus and Cochrane Fountain City. And this is a very good neutral site for these two teams.
Right.
It's about 30 miles for Marshfield to come to Neillsville and about 50 miles for Eau Claire Memorial. So it's pretty impressive. I know we're going to be at Osseo tonight, but I would love to see that, just to see what that field house looks like with 2 Division I schools.
Yes. So Marshfield and Eau Claire Memorial tonight. And Eau Claire Memorial is 6th ranked in the state.
Absolutely.
And that game, by the way, tonight is going to be on 92.3 FM WOSQ starting at 7 o'clock. Also, we go to Division II, where 8 of the top 10 teams are left in their brackets. You have to go, including the number 1 team, Slinger. Division III, Only half of the top 10 teams are left in Division III. One of those was played last night in Marshfield because Elk Mound's girls team plays this afternoon.
And that, and another thing I thought too, well, maybe the Marshfield people want to come to Neillsville tonight to watch too, So. But yeah, Elk Mound's girls are playing this afternoon down in Madison. So.
Yes. The number one team is still alive in Division III as well, and that's Milwaukee Academy of Science. And they've had some
I'll tell you
good runs.
And everybody you talk to says this is the team in D3. And I remember, I believe it was a couple of years ago when Neillsville played them down at a game of, and they're just huge, big athletic kids and just tremendous team. So, and probably more fitted for D2 or D1, but are playing in D3. So
could very well move up. Who knows?
Absolutely. That'll be a competitive balancing, I bet too. So
Division IV, half of the teams are left there. They're in the top 10, including the number one team. We talked about them, Mineral Point. They take on Darling tonight at Lancaster. Auburndale and Stratford playing tonight at Wausau West. Third time they meet. How about Auburndale's run here?
Yeah, just great. And
they had to play marathon.
Thomas always dropping a last-second basket in to win the regional. So
now they got Stratford, who they split with during the regular season.
And that is a great place to have that game up at Wausau West.
Yes, it is.
That'll
be loud.
Yes,
very
absolutely.
loud.
So, and the winner of that game gets the winner of Bondwell Southern Door, and that championship game will be held Saturday at Spash. So,
okay. So Bondwell, a very good team.
Yep, they are. They've been right up top that D4 all year, pretty close to it.
Yeah.
So,
and then Neillsville played, of course. Who did they play the other night?
Regis.
And then Regis got beat by Onalaska Luther in the regional finals.
Very surprising. I thought, and I had not taken anything against Onalaska Luther because I'm sure they were they play in a tough conference down there, pretty good 6 seed. But the way Regis played Friday night and being at home, I thought that was Regis's game to win there. So kudos to Luther going in there and winning. And I guess I believe they get a date with Aquinas for their efforts.
They do.
And I think it was the same thing last year, too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Aquinas and Luther at La Crosse Central tonight. In Division 5, 7 of the top 10 teams are left, including a game that we're going to be at tonight at Osseo Fairchild. The number 8 ranked Cochrane Fountain City Pirates taking on Columbus Catholic, 7 o'clock on 1450 AM. 98.7 FM, WDLB.
I'll tell you what, you look at this CFC team, they're pretty good on paper. I'll tell you what, they
put up some points.
They got 72 points a game and give up 49. Lipinski, their top scorer, almost 22 a game. So,
and he's up for one of the top shooters in the state.
Yes, he is. So,
according to WIS Sports.
Yeah, I know there was a while there Loyal led in the first half, but I guess they just got overwhelmed in the second half.
Yeah. Cochrane Fountain City, number 8 in the state, of course. But, Columbus Catholic, defending champs.
I'll tell you, I don't think anybody in this area, Larry, has played better basketball since the first of the year than Columbus.
No.
I honestly, they got it together after the first year. They took some tough losses, and they have just been on fire. I don't think they've lost much more than the conference crossover against Regis. So and Weiland and Matt Konitsky are playing at a very, very high level.
Yes, they are, and they pretty much manhandled Alma Center Lincoln the other night.
Yeah, Alma Center Lincoln is a good ball club.
Yeah, they are.
They're very, very senior oriented.
Yeah.
We've seen them play. We've seen those kids play the last 3 years. They're a very good ball club. But, and speaking of that, I just wanted to say what a nice job your son Andrew did taking over for me that night.
Yeah, he did.
All of a sudden, my job security fell flimsy.
I think you're still good. Yet. But he did
a nice job. Yeah. I was able. We were coming back from the car, and I was able to pick up the broadcast, and he sounded very good on there. Did a nice job.
He knew his role.
Yes, he did.
He knew his role. All right. So moving on. We have girls basketball. The state tournament gets underway this afternoon over at the Resch Center in Green Bay, and I looked at some of the top 10 teams that are left there as well, and there's a lot of them left in the tournament. So again, the seeding went pretty well.
Yeah, and the ratings we've followed all season have been right there too. You know, so
Division III gets underway this afternoon, where number 6 ranked Elk Mound will take on Xavier. And that game at 1:35. That'll be followed by Oostburg and Laconia, and Laconia back in there again.
Yeah, this time bumped up where they were in 4 last year, I believe. Yeah, and they bumped up because of competitive balance. I think they're a very good 3 seed, though. If I was Oostburg, they might be a little bit underseeded, but from what I hear, the Elk Mound girls are the real deal. But
Yeah.
I think any 4 of these teams could win that D3. So
Division 4 will be this evening, where the Prairie School, how about this, number 1 against number 2 in the semifinal at 6:35 tonight. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and the Prairie School is on top of that D4 ratings all season.
Yep.
All season. I think wire to wire, I believe, just about. And Cuba City, that is a very good 4 seed right there.
Yeah.
I said they handled a very good, didn't handle, it was 47-43, but beat a very good Aquinas team to get down there. And
that's interesting how they're the number 2 team in the state, but
Yeah.
they're a 4 seed when they get the state.
Yeah, and St. Mary Catholic has been ranked very high.
They're
all
number
year.
3.
Durand, Arkansas is kind of come out of nowhere for
right.
this and got a 3 seed out of it, but they beat some pretty good teams in that sectional they came out of. So.
In that sectional, I look back, there was no ranked teams in that sectional,
No.
but they were good teams.
Yeah,
But
McDonald came out of that sectional. It started off with Fall Creek and Regis and some.
yeah, those were the ranked teams, and
Yeah.
they played each other right away almost.
Yeah, and that's where, sometimes that computer, I don't know, but you can't argue with the fact Durand came out of it. So,
Right. Yep.
so.
So there's your Division 4 later on this evening. Then tomorrow, Division 5 gets underway at 9:05. And I tell you, this Division 5 is a who's who in over the years as Assumption takes on Owen Withy in the first game.
Yeah, I said, well, Lords has been to the state tournament, but I believe they were in D4 when they went to state tournament because I think they played Neilsville in 2012 for the championship.
That's what I thought, yeah.
And but I'll tell you what, you start off Assumption, and Owen Withy, both under different coaches than they had in the past, but both, storied programs in D5. And then you got, at the 3 seed, you got Barneville with Jim Myers back in the saddle as a coach again, so I'll tell you what, all you need is Grunhofer from Assumption and Guthman to come down there.
Yeah, right. Now, what I read when they had the tournament preview for Division 5, they say Lourdes Academy is experiencing state for the first time.
Okay. Well, and this is a different Lourdes. But
Must be.
But in 2012, Neilsville beat Lourdes Academy.
That's what I thought, yeah.
And I think they were Oshkosh Lourdes called that.
Yeah, maybe this is a different one.
Yeah, it could be a whole different school. I don't know. But
And then reading, and I did not realize this, but Owen Withy is making their 10th appearance overall, and first since 2014. They've never won a title.
Nope.
They have never won a state title.
I was going over that because
I had to look again.
Yeah, I was going back over their years because I was kind of hoping to find out where are they now that I couldn't find.
Yeah.
to go along with this, but it just shocked me that they didn't have one title in there.
No,
so
they've been there 10 times, but have not won.
They've got quite a few silver balls, but not much, no gold. So.
Yeah. All right, then later on, tomorrow afternoon, Edgewood takes on Rice Lake. Edgewood, a team that moved up a division after winning Division 3 last year.
Yep, and Rice Lake, I don't recall them being down
First
there.
trip.
Yep,
So, for the girls.
And that's another one that athletics are running rapid up there, all sports up there. But pretty good matchup there. And then also the Wauwatosa East West Appear matchup should be excellent also there.
West Appear is making their second trip to state. The other one was in 1978. It's back in your day.
Yeah, right.
Division 1, it has Kimberly against Appleton East, and Appleton East is a team that won in double overtime.
Yeah, they were a number 6 seed and came through there. They beat Spash in the semifinal. I believe it was in double overtime, I believe. And then came back and beat Memorial on Saturday for the title.
Yeah, yeah. I ran into some of those people over in Marshfield at a restaurant.
Yeah, that game was in Marshfield.
Yeah, they were pretty excited Saturday.
Yeah, so 6 seed. Now Kimberly defeated Pewaukee, who was up from D2. But that is a heck of a Pewaukee team because you had the Terry and twins.
I never thought anybody would beat them.
No, I didn't either. I was just shocked. So all I can say is I think Kimberly's got probably one heck of a ball club going down there.
I think they do, yes. Arrowhead will take on Muskego in the second Division 1 semifinal. Arrowhead, the defending champ in that one, and Muskego making their first ever trip to state for girls basketball.
I swear Arrowhead is there in every sport. I mean, we talked about them in wrestling. They've got it. They're in the, I believe, they're in the boys' tournament yet. But
girls softball.
Yeah. Anyways, but anyway, Saturday championship Saturday begins at 11:05 with D5, to be followed by D4 and D3 for the afternoon session. And then that evening at 6:35, D2, followed by D1. So,
yes, and then earlier in the morning, it's the 3-point challenge, where Neillsville senior Sydney Supke will be participating.
Yeah, hopefully she can close out her career with a win. So
she comes into that with the third best in the state as far as percentage for three-pointers, 47.4%. That's pretty good.
Good for her.
That's really good.
Good luck. So.
And we'd like to wish Dana Schultz again. I didn't hear. I sent her a text, and she was going to give me a call, but I didn't hear from her. But
I haven't been able to find anything on that, but I suppose it's probably in the middle of the night.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a 7-hour difference. Probably early in the morning.
Well past my bedtime.
Yes. But again, Dana over in Italy for the Special Olympics World Winter Games over there. Big Ten tournament getting underway, and then we got all the tournaments. In fact, men's and women's going to be wrapping up for Selection Sunday. This
Badgers
Sunday.
play this afternoon.
Yep.
And if they win, they will play a quarterfinal tomorrow afternoon versus UCLA. So
okay, yeah, 4 of those teams got buys all the way till Friday.
Yeah,
that's pretty nice.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, so you talk about having fresh legs before the weekend.
Right,
I mean,
you only got to play 2 games.
Yeah, wow, you're in the finals.
Yeah,
but that's the way it goes. The Big East is out in New York, I believe.
Yeah,
where Marquette is participating in there. But this past week, the UW Green Bay women's team punched their ticket to the NCAA women's tournament, winning the Horizon League tournament.
Yeah.
And
they're really on a roll right now.
Yeah, and they are. You talk about a history there. UW Green Bay's women's program has been. But listening to the ESPN people, they think it's a team that could do some damage in the tournament. So,
and that's they're coached by Brad Fisher, who's a Marshfield native.
Yes, yep.
He's doing a good job with them.
Yep.
All right, let's get into where are they now before we run out of time here today.
Okay, Larry. I'm going to run over to Marshfield and talk about Eleni Seitz. And Eleni is a 2011 graduate of Marshfield Senior High. In the fall, Eleni was a 2-year letter winner on the Tiger volleyball team. Her junior year, the Tigers went 9-16, losing to Wausau West in the regionals. Eleni had 52 assists and 17 kills on the season. Her senior year, the Tigers were 25-16, losing to Merrill in the regional finals. Eleni had 95 assists and 32 kills on the season. In the winter, Eleni was a 3-year letter winner on the Marshfield girls basketball team. Her sophomore year, the Tigers were 22-2. They were Wisconsin Valley regional and sectional champions, advancing to the WIA Division I state tournament, where they would lose in the quarterfinals to Milwaukee King. In that game, Eleni scored 3 points and had 2 rebounds. For the season, she averaged 5 points and 2 rebounds per game. Her junior year, the Tigers were 21-3 on the season. They were Wisconsin Valley and regional champs, losing in the sectional semifinals to Wausau West. Eleni averaged 8 points and 5 rebounds per game. Her senior year, Marshfield was 20-4. They were Wisconsin Valley and regional champions, losing in the sectional semis to Superior. Eleni averaged 17 points and had 10 rebounds per game. She was a first-team selection on the Wisconsin Valley All-Conference team and a Channel 7 All-Star. After graduation, Eleni enrolled at UW Stevens Point and joined the Pointer women's basketball program. Her freshman year, the Pointers were 24-5 on the season, qualifying for the NCAA 3 playoffs, where they lost to Kelvin College 76-71 in the second game of the regionals. Eleni averaged 2 points per game. Her sophomore year, Stevens Point was 24-6 on the season, qualifying for the NCAA D3 playoffs, where they would lose in the second game of the regionals to Simpson College. Eleni averaged 4 points and 2 rebounds per game. Her junior year, Stevens Point was 17-10 on the season. Eleni averaged 2 points and 2 rebounds per game. Her senior year, the Pointers were 14-13 on the season. Eleni averaged 7 points and 3 rebounds per game. Eleni graduated from UW Stevens Point in 2016 with a bachelor's degree in health promotion and a coaching minor. Today, Eleni is employed by Bellin Health, based in Green Bay, as a strength coach, and also heads up Bellin Health's social media marketing and membership specialist. Eleni resides in De Pere. Eleni Seitz, Larry.
All right. You know, you look at those Division III, how many colleges there are in the nation.
Oh, man.
But you always hear the same names. Yeah. Simpson College, Calvin College, UW Stevens Point.
Yeah, and then in football, it was always Whitewater and a couple of them out east.
Yeah,
and,
it's always the same.
Yeah.
But there's a ton of Division III colleges.
And, I said it's funny how the WIAC seems to fit in there, but not always the same team from the WIAC.
Right.
I mean, now lacrosse is really taking over the wrestling. Point was real strong in wrestling for a while. Now it's lacrosse is really taking over the wrestling.
Yeah.
So.
Division III women's indoor track and field championships are happening in Rochester, New York this weekend, and a couple of area athletes are going to be involved in that. Gracie Holland of Marshfield in the pole vault, representing UW Whitewater, and Leah Zastro, a name from the past.
UW Stout.
She's from Spencer, of course. She'll be also in the pole vault. And Hannah Zastro, competing for UW Lacrosse, not in the pole vault, though, 60-meter hurdles and high jump.
Not every Zastro can be a pole vaulter, I guess.
I guess not.
But I say, it's pretty interesting. I just seen on Facebook the other day, Spencer High School has just done a lot of work making sure they have all their track records because they want to put up a big deal in the dome there.
Oh, okay.
And you look at the pole vault, there they are, Leah and her brother. And the brother, of course, is like 14 feet.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and he went up to like 16, 17 feet in college. So,
did very well.
Yeah, but the Zastro was a big part of the track program up at Spencer. So.
Yes, they did. So. All right, the Bucks lost. I was watching that game the other night, and just amazing. Tyrese Halliburton with an off-balance three in the corner and then got fouled. For a 4-point play, and they won by 1.
Yeah, and Bucks didn't have a timeout left, so they couldn't take so they had to bring it 3.4 seconds, and just probably the wrong guy shooting at the end was probably Giannis, but but they had everybody else covered that was a threat. So, but 1 point, another thing I wanted to bring up about the Bucks. Former Buck and Buck owner Junior Bridgman passed away Tuesday at 71. Larry,
so one of my favorites from that generation.
Yeah,
there.
Junior was a sixth man. Well, he actually came to the Bucks in 1975. He never played for the Lakers, but he was drafted. But he came in the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar trade, and he was a sixth man for 10 seasons with the Bucks. And of course, that Bucks team had 5 consecutive division champions.
They were good
in the 80s, and if they would have had a six-man award, many people feel he would have won it several times.
Oh,
but, his number 2 jersey is retired by the Bucks.
But, it is? Okay.
He
played along with Marcus Johnson and Sidney Moncrief.
Brian Winters.
Yeah.
And they later added Bob Lanier and so. But he was a heck of an entrepreneur, really big in the restaurant. He owned many Wendy's franchises.
Oh, is that what it was? Because they said he's one of the richest guys. In sports.
Well over $1 billion. Yeah. Well over $1 billion.
Wow.
So,
okay. Yeah, too bad. I understand it was a medical emergency during a speaking engagement.
Yeah, he was down in Louisville, which is his hometown. So. But,
it happened on Tuesday.
Yeah.
By the way, the Bucks are hosting the Lakers tonight.
Yep.
On TNT.
TNT. Yep. Another one we'll miss.
Yeah. And the Lakers are without LeBron
James.
For a little while.
Yeah. So it sounds like he might be out for a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
So.
And
I said you just don't when you get into your 40s, you just don't heal quite so well.
No.
So.
And speaking of not healing, and another injury, Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Ruptured Achilles tendon now with surgery on that, so he's going to be probably out for the rest of this year.
Yep, you bet. Yeah, and I was going to say, baseball starts 2 weeks from today, and the Brewers start in New York, but they will not be facing the pitcher they've expected to face.
Yes.
Speaking of injury, Garrett Cole is having Tommy John surgery.
Yeah,
and that will be a big hit for the Yankees. That's their number one. So.
Yeah. And, in fact, I believe the Dodgers and Cubs are heading out to Japan right now.
Yep. Okay.
Because they have a series that starts first.
Yeah, they always do that. But then the rest, everybody else will start on the 27th.
Yep.
So
Brewers.
2 weeks away. So, and then we're also in the middle of NFL free agency, and everybody's hopes are wild. But I'll tell you what, the quarterbacks have been dropping, though.
Yeah, they have.
Sam Darnold had his great year with the Vikings last year, 3 years. $100 million with the Seahawks. So, Josh Field went to the Jets, 2 years, $40 million. Geno Smith traded to the Raiders. Yeah, I can't figure it out. Okay, the Colts. Colts already have Anthony Richardson, but they're giving Daniel Jones 1 year, $14 million, and Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback. So
no, I don't know what that is.
So now, if you want to read where Aaron Rodgers is speculated to go,
good luck.
Yeah.
We got boys basketball tonight. It's Columbus Catholic taking on Cochrane Fountain City at Osseo Fairchild, 7 o'clock on 1450 AM, 98.7 FM.
Should be a dandy.
And Marshfield and Eau Claire Memorial on 92.3 FM WOSQ. Both games starting at 7 tonight.
Yep.
And that'll do it for Two Guys on Sports. I'm Larry Hazer.
I'm Dick Olson.
Talk to you again next week.